of all, thank you for the opportunity, and I would like to comment upon how well ET has sequenced all the sessions from the morning. So the morning started with how the brands are envisaging, their future journeys, and it went into technology, and now Akhil made my job very, very simple when he introduced the metaverse for me. So let me now go to the context, and why I've put this slide is because I am from the tech world, the tech creator, and you guys are from the fashion world. So let's see how we envisage the fashion journey going forward. So Akhil was talking about, the context of, if you talk about fashion, fashion is a global language. It's understood by all across the globe. It is interpreted by every individual differently. Especially when you come to generations, the generation which we are from, the millennials, are very different from the generation Z or the generation Alpha that is coming into play. When we talk about the generation Z specifically, they are driven by purpose. Purposes like sustainability, purposes like passion. And what they need in life is very different. They want instant gratification. They want frictionless commerce. They want a very differentiated way in which they represent themselves. The online me is very different from a real me. And also, they all have a side hustle. Everybody believes, I was listening to a few people who have launched their own brands. They are typically from the Generation Z, and they all believe that they are CEOs of a company, or they can be CEOs of a company very quickly. So how do we address this generation in terms of enticing them towards our product? So that's the question that needs to be answered. When we talk about, just a quick introduction, as they said, Ashish Minocha, I'm the CBO of a company called Mai. From the last 2 years, we have been grappling around this question, how do we entice Generation Z? Right? And we have a couple of products. Instead of going into the products, let me talk about the philosophy behind the products, and then we'll probably do a very short video on the product. So when we talk about the product itself, what we believe, empowering the next billion users is going to be virtual. The generation which we are talking about, the Generation Z is 10 to 25 years of age today. They are going to be our future consumers in a very, very short duration. And we do believe that the next billion users, or the buyers, and the people who will have the real cash to actually buy our products are going to be that generation. And we believe that the virtual era is the next version of the internet which is coming through. So that's where we are innovating around the products. So the first product that we have created is called Metaverse. It's an immersive experience that will really surpass your wildest expectations. And why I'm saying so, there is already a Decentraland, there are already a Fortnite, there is already other avenues, etc. But the problem with each one of them is that they are not photorealistic in the sense they have been created. Where we entice ourselves is the photorealism, not only for the people or the avatars which we are talking about the spaces and how photorealistic we can make the stores or the avenues where you can showcase your stuff. The overall solution is based upon 4 pillars. So you have model avatars, which look photorealistic. You have facial expression capture, which is very important to being humans, right? So if I'm talking to a person which is very animated, it is not able to capture the expressions or the feelings which an avatar can put. And this is where we differentiate our solution. The third one is cloth physics. Now, there was a lot of virtual try-ons which were created a few years back, but a lot of them failed. The reason was that you always have straight clothes put on straight avatars, and you could never get the feel in terms of how the cloth will actually fall on your body physics, right? So how do you create an avatar which really represents you in body shape and one side, and also it's a representation of how you want to look? So that's the difference that can be brought in by model avatars. And last but not the least, how do you capture the motion of a person? So if you are a model, and if you are doing a ramp walk with clothes which believe in cloth physics or which have been designed using cloth physics, and then you have a motion capture which is put on a person, it is as realistic as somebody actually doing a ramp walk. So that's the difference, and that's the way we believe this industry can progress, especially when it comes to the metaverse. Now, Sorry. And what we provide is not only the spaces or the 4 pillars of technology. We have created a full 10-kilometer by a 10-kilometer world where you have multiple avenues to showcase your creations. And this is already readily available for you to try it on. And this is just a one glimpse, and there is much more. And at the end, I will show you a bit of a video in terms of how the world overall looks like. Now, what's in it for you? So when we talk about, the audience here, there are 3 types of, 3 versions of audience which I believe are present in this, this session. The first one is the brands itself. So from a brand perspective, what do you get from solutions like the Metaverse? So a virtual store accessible across the globe. Now, there was a discussion earlier saying that still online is around 20% of the overall sales. Actually, the numbers, if I go by the numbers, it's 21% and 79% is still brick and mortar. But even on the brick and mortar side, what's happening is the floor space is reducing and the stores are becoming more and more phygital. So you have an aisle where you showcase a set of products, but you also have an infinite aisle connected to it where you showcase your products virtually. Right? So the real estate is getting more and more costlier, and how do you use the real estate in the best way is where the products come into play. Now, it is of real intent that we should virtualize our products as soon as possible. Wherever is your supply chain, wherever you are creating those designs, nowadays everything happens in 3D. And there was a talk about turnaround times in terms of how can I get to see a product very quickly. This will happen when you have a full virtual replica of your product. Now, this virtual replica can go in your physical products, physical stores, and also create an alternate channel, which is an extension of your existing channels, which are online channels. We're not saying that the world is going to change and tomorrow you will stop using the mobile and you will stop using the desktop. It's going to be a hybrid world for at least the next 4 to 5 years, but it's not long that we will go to a full virtual world. There is a reason why Apple launched the Vision Pro. There is a reason why the Meta Quest 3 was launched a couple of days back. So there is, everybody's seeing traction towards moving towards a full virtual store. Also from a customer experience perspective, customer journeys can be designed perfectly in a virtual space. So you can have gamified experiences. You can bring in your customers into those virtual stores. And there was a question sometime back on the Gen AI part. So it's not very far then that the Jarvis or the Friday of Tony Stark cannot guide us in terms of going through a particular store. So the generative AI is assisting and helping us to that extent that it can customize user flows, user journeys within the store. So it's a big thing, a big responsibility for the brands to actually innovate, look at sculpting the future together, and at least put a strategy together in terms of how do they engage with the metaverse. From the models perspective, so what's in it for the models? So we believe that if we can create models which are really, really photorealistic, why not immortalize yourself, right? So it's a digital yourself, it's a digital me driven by AI, which can be monetized in a very different way in the virtual space. Everybody has and started investing in the NFTs today, right? So this is the right time to actually create those NFTs. And it's not only for the brands to create that FOMO around NFTs, it's about for the models as well. Because when you have stores, you need people and you need models in the stores to actually represent your creations. And as I say, why should it be sold less when it can be sold full? Because we can show expressions, we can show body motion, etc. So the models of today or tomorrow are going to be very, very different and very, very realistic. For the designers, so now the designers get the advantage. And as I said, Gen Z, everybody has a side hustle. So there's a lot of people, freelancers, who are designing products for many, many organizations now. For them, for the people who are in the brands, who are designing the products, it becomes very easy to choose a model, choose a venue, choose a store, and showcase the collection. So that's what Metaverse brings to them. Some facts, I think you would have already seen it. I'll not spend a lot of time on that. But the industry overall in the last 4 years have been growing exponentially. And these are numbers which are proven. There's a lot of adoption coming in from the online perspective as well. though, as I said, it's still 20% of the overall sale, but it has been growing 100% year on year. So that's where we are. We are on the verge of the technology moving towards a more virtual environment. Talking about brands, brands have their presence. Nike has a presence, Louis Vuitton has a presence. We did a launch for Tommy Hilfiger in Brazil some time back. So there are brands which are adopting, which are experimenting. What we are suggesting is this should be part of the brand strategy itself. It's just like an IT strategy. You have an SAP, you have logistics. You also need to have an add-on channel which is immersive, which becomes an addition to your omni-channel experience. And with technology, the way hardware is progressing, the way technology and the compute is processing, it's very, very realistic in today's world. Last but not the least, as the title of my presentation was around protection also, the other product that we have is called Mai IPR, which gives or empowers any and every creator to secure their protections. What we do here is whenever you create a design, we mint it on blockchain, we give you a hash of that blockchain, and you become an entitled user or the owner of that particular design with a timestamp and a date stamp. Now, how does it help? Any place your designs are being used unofficially or not in the right way, you can ascertain that you were the owner of this design, and it is certified by law. It stands in the court of law as a proof because it's based on blockchain. We have taken opinions from lawyers in India. We have taken opinions from lawyers across the world. This is something which stays with you. And why this product in alignment with the metaverse? Because it's a digital revolution. A digital file can travel through the metaverse very fast, right? So it is more important for you to certify that who is the owner of a particular design or a creation. So that's where this product comes into play. Last but not the least, a controversial statement. Welcome to the season neutrality with Mai, because metaverse is season neutral, though it can also represent seasons, but neutrality is something which is coming your way. So last 2 minutes, I'll end the conversation with a video which I want to showcase in terms of what photorealism means, if you can. I would just say that the screens don't do justice to the content which I wanted to show, but that's it. You can have a better experience at our kiosk, which is outside. I'll just want to end this at, I think we'll be more than happy to partner with any and all of you in terms of how do you want to take your metaverse aspirations forward. It's the time to embrace technology, at least put it in your plans, and then see how it goes forward. Thanks for your time and attention. Thank you.